And so, of course, by this time, I'm already painted the villain. I'm already painted as the person who financially can't sustain the place. I'm running the business down in the ground. Um, and so, by the time I found out about the cameras, I had just, what the fuck ever. Y'all already talking about me. People already believe it. I don't care anymore. But I was heartbroken because it was like, I didn't deserve that. And neither did the person that came before me and the people who were there before them. See, I wasn't the only person that experienced certain things from this particular person. I'm just the only person that's talking about it publicly. But I'm not the only one. Trust me, I'm not the only one. There were so many people, well, I'll get to that later about you know, the climate of the place was just bad. And it wasn't going to get any better. And they knew that because they couldn't bring it back into the black. And I said the green earlier, but when you're dealing with books, it's the black. They couldn't bring it back into the black. And I mean, I talked to different people who have success in cafes and asked their advice. And when I was asked to show them the books and I told them the numbers, one of them said, "I am so sorry. There's nothing that we could do for you. Nothing. We can't help you out of that. That's awful, and I'm sorry that you're stuck in that. But you might as well go ahead and get out because it's not going to get any better. Unless you can bring it up to XYZ numbers, it's going to fail." But the person knew that when they gave it to me. They knew. Because as a business owner, you know when your business is sinking. You know when it's time to jump ship, okay? And that's what they did. And just forgot to leave the life raft for me. I'm in the deep end, swimming and trying to fight for my life. And my name, and my integrity, and my character on top of that. Now, when I first got there, it seemed like everything was cool. I was allowed to stay with her and the friend that she was staying with at the time. And even that was a whole setup because they had a dog. The person had a dog and kept telling me I wasn't an animal person because I didn't want the pet on my bed. I'm a black woman. I don't put animals on my bed. I'm black. We don't do that. Well, some people do. Some black people do. But I'm not one of them. Okay? Love animals. Just don't get on my bed. And if they do, I would wash everything all over again. I came home one day and there was cat poop on the comforter. Even though I closed the door. Every day I'm coming back in, the door is wide open. Dog under the bed. Anyway, long story short, with the dog, I was told that I needed to be firm with the dog. And y'all, most of you know me, you know I'm soft-spoken. Okay, period. Even when I'm angry, it takes a lot for me to raise my voice. It takes a lot for me to yell. But I was told I had to be assertive with the dog or be firm with the dog and yell at the dog just because it's not going to listen to me because it was a stray. And so there were times where, I would watch, be there by myself with the animals and got to feed them and everything. And the dog would get outside and not want to come back in. And I was told I had to yell at the dog. Well, she had cameras. And on the cameras, I'm yelling at the dog. Not because I hated the dog, but because she told me. You need to yell at the dog. Both of them did. You need to yell at him because he's not going to listen to you. However, video footage of me yelling at the dog was sent to somebody else. She's mistreating my animals. I don't want her here anymore. She's yelling at my dog. What? How am I mistreating the what? I went to feed the dog and the dog's tooth. The dog bit me because I went to actually pick him up to get him off the couch to put him in the kennel because that's what I was told to do. But he had a treat that he was chewing on. And because he was a stray, I guess he thought I was trying to come for his little treat, and his tooth went all the way through my finger. And I mean all the way through my finger. It was infected for a month. I was on antibiotics for a freaking month behind that. I didn't mistreat the dog. I was just trying to do what I was told. If he doesn't want to pick him up, try to reach for the treat. But oh no, I was painted as the villain who hates animals, who mistreated her dog. And that's not the case at all whatsoever. Okay? Just me and the dog had a love-hate relationship because he never wanted to listen to me. But he didn't want to listen to them either. They had to do the same thing. So for me, it was bananas. So when I yell at the dog, I'm mistreating your animal. But when you yell at the dog, it's what you're supposed to do because he don't listen to nobody. Oh, okay. I see how this is going. I see what. So for me, that was even a whole setup. Because once that person left and it was just me and the owner of the house, it was bad. And the energy was so bad that I decided I was going to find a place. I didn't care what I had to do. So I, pulled money from my 401k and was like, let me go ahead and get a place. And they were even letting me use their car, which I was grateful for, or their spare card. I was grateful for that. But it became too much between me and one of her employees that had to use the car. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and rent a car. I'm going to just rent a car until my money run out, or until I can get a car or whatever. But I'm not doing this because it was too inconvenient and it would be last minute all the time. And, so for me, it was like, let me go ahead and do what I got to do. So I wound up getting approved for a place, and I told them, well, first of all, let me backtrack on that because this is where it got weird. And this is before I knew about the cameras. I was telling my cousin, having a private conversation in my business, right, in the cafe, what I thought was a private conversation, just telling my cousin, just venting, like, this dog, I need to get out of there, I can't be responsible for somebody else's animals. It's not, that's not, I don't want that responsibility, so I think it's best that I go. And then I felt the energy shift between me and her, and it just was not pretty, And I got a phone call from the person I took over, and they were like, oh, I had a vision, that you need to move out and get your own place, and it's going to be great for you, and just have a conversation with her about it. Not knowing that she was watching me on the cameras, listening to me vent to my cousin about the whole situation. I had a vision, right? I'm sure you did. The vision you had was you watching me on the other end of them cameras having a conversation about your friend and what was going on when you weren't there, okay? So I get my place, I tell her, we have the conversation, and I had already paid my rent. I had paid the rent and the utilities for that month. So I was going to be out before the next month rolled in, so I wasn't owing any extra, rent. And she said, no, you don't have to move out. And I was like, well, I think it's best that I do. She goes, well, when is your apartment ready? And I was like, on the 22nd. This was October. It was supposed to be ready October 22nd of 2022. And she was like, well, you can stay from now until then, because I was going to sleep in the cafe. Let me get an air mattress. I'll go to the gym, take a shower. I wasn't beat for the bullshit. I wasn't. I had a plan. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Where are you going to sleep? I'll sleep in the cafe. I'll get a hotel. There was an extended stay down the street. Looked like a little red light district. I did not care. I just wanted some peace, and I didn't have any. And when she was saying that I could stay, I was like, are you sure? She was like, well, stay until, until you get your apartment. And I was like, okay. But then it just got even weirder. And a few days later, I said, you know what, I think I'm going to go. She was like, well, your apartment's not ready yet. When are you going to pay me the rent? And I'm like, pay you rent for what? You said I could stay here rent-free for this month until my apartment's ready on the 22nd. She said, yeah, but I have bills to pay. But then why offer me to stay rent-free if now you're going to all of a sudden make it seem like I'm not paying you any rent? That same day, I went to the apartment complex. I said, what do you got available right now? Whatever they had available right then in that moment, I took it. Because I wasn't about to be, we're not doing this. So then I became the person that owes her money for rent when that's not how the conversation went down. And I still got the receipts to prove that to be the truth. Oh, I kept every text message, every voice note, every email. Oh, I have everything. So when people try to paint me out to be the villain, I let it happen because I got proof that I'm not. How about that?